I'm so proud of what you guys did on your Mastery Exit Ticket Thursday, but I want to zoom into our lowest performing standard, which is 8.9D, talking about figurative language, and show you how I work through the question. So, question 8. In stanza 2, the poet's use of a metaphor suggests that. So, before I do anything, I want to go back to standard stanza 2 and look at my gist and understand what the question is asking me. So, stanzas are like paragraphs. So, stanza 2, the gist of that is to just start writing for ideas to flow. That's what I put. And now I'm going to look at the question. In stanza 2, the poet's use of a metaphor suggests that. So I know there's a metaphor, and what is it implying? That's what I'm trying to answer. What is this metaphor in stanza 2 implying? But first, I have to think about what is a metaphor. I know that it's not a simile, which is a comparison using like or as. I know a metaphor is comparing two things but without using like or as. And I know it's figurative language. I know it's not literal. Now, what is the metaphor in the text? As I'm looking back in stanza 2, words will come marching up the walls like soldiers bearing ideas, pacing all around you. So, words being like soldiers is the metaphor. And now, using that and using my gist, I'm going to start looking at the answer choices now. So, words help writers generate ideas. That's number one. I'm going to start that because that sounds just like my gist. Start writing to have the ideas flow. G, ideas can overwhelm writings. That could potentially be true, but I'm thinking about like the words walking, like it can be overwhelming. I'm imagining that, but I don't know if there's any like strong textual evidence to support that. So I'm gonna go back and check that. But I'm gonna just part on overwhelm. Exercise helps writers develop their thoughts. Starting to scribble could be considered an exercise, but it's not an actual exercise or writing practice in the way that you would think with this figurative language. It's not a informational text saying this is how you write this type of essay. Writers depend on others to complete their work. I marked out this because the soldiers aren't actually helping. We know that this is a literal answer. And you may have been confused if you saw companions and friends when they talked about that in stanza 2, but I know that couldn't be right. So I'm looking at F as the strongest one, but even though I've marked out the other ones, I still need to justify why F is the strongest. So I need your help with this. I want you to, in your do now draw it, I want you to explain why F is the strongest. Okay? I'm going to give you 3 minutes or 2 minutes actually to write this down. Why is F the strongest answer? 2 minutes. All right, F is the strongest answer because it's the closest to my gist, which says start writing for ideas to flow. Ideas to flow is the same as generate ideas and how the words help the writer do that. And then continuing on, I'm looking at my overall gist as well. This whole poem is talking about writer's block. So I'm connecting it to my overall gist and my gist of the paragraph and using that metaphor of words because words are representing the soldiers. Not ideas, not exercise, not writers, but the actual words.